It is an abomination to meet somebody and after living the person's life, the person is worse. It's an abomination. Leadership is the act of helping people become more. You will see a man that has been trained for leadership. Do you get what I'm talking about? There's a calmness about leadership that when the calmness about leadership only works in a place where the leader is prepared. Do you understand what I'm talking about? The leader knows that there are systems in place, true or false. When procedures are in place, you already know what is a step 1, step 2, step 3. Even if the White House right now is invaded, I can tell you there are already systems in place that if the President of America is not present at the moment, there is a system in place that automatically makes the Vice President does what? He just walks into that shoe. If the Vice President is not around, what happens next? The Senate President. That's how it works. Because if you are working for an organization and you head a department, right, and there's a crisis situation, how do you react? Don't you know that there's a way you react, you get every other person confused? Yes. Imagine if you are heading a system, the head of fire service of this country comes out and there's fire everywhere, heavy fire everywhere. The guy comes out and starts crying. Tears all over his eyes. And people are waiting from outside and the guy starts crying. Tell me, who, the ordinary person on the street, what will happen to them? They will start wailing. That is why doctors are trained differently. You know doctors, you see a situation, having to be in a hospital, you see a situation in the hospital, there is a crisis situation, and the doctor is what? He's calm. And whenever you look at the face of the doctor, and you look at there's a sense of confidence that comes to you, true or false? The doctor gives you a sense of confidence. But if the doctor now says, yeah, you will discover that even if the case is not a serious situation, everybody, so there is a need as a man of the house, do you know that the calmness of a leader is what gives you the charge that you are the man here responsible? Do you know? Everybody's running around. That's why they say men don't cry. But it must have pained them inside. But you look at them, they're not crying. They are just there. But they are crying inside. But there's a calmness. That's what leadership, because if you're calm in situations, you don't make mistakes as a leader. The fastest way to make mistakes is what? When you begin to get what? So if you can control your environment, it's an indicator of your preparedness for leadership. Running around doesn't change anything, does it? Let's say there's a crisis right now. You see somebody, he runs the staircase 4 times. Confusion. That's what it's called what? Confusion. The guy is not in charge. The guy with the calm spirit is the guy in charge. You see everybody running helter-skelter. What are you talking about? In policy formation, you need calmness to be able to understand what they're talking about. And that's why it is important to get to a point where you can listen. Do you get what I mean? It is in calmness that you can listen to somebody. When somebody's explaining a situation to you, most times people don't have the patience and calmness to do what? To listen. They want to even start replying before the person even what? Finishes. And so the person knows already that this person doesn't care, doesn't understand what he's talking about. So, I shouldn't waste my time here. Do you get what I'm saying? You need a calmness of to every environment has got what? Situations, true or false? Every environment has got the things that control the environment. You either control the environment or you allow the things of life and forces of life control that environment. If you are a leader and you cannot control the environment, you are in crisis. I'm telling you. Because you set the pace of what happens in that environment. So the major behavior of leadership is calmness. 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 A calm, cool spirit. Now, calmness is different from your temperament. I hope you know. Calmness is different from your temperament. I hope you know. You can be a sanguine and still calm. Be calm. True or false? You can be a sanguine. You can be a choleric and you're calm in spirit. It doesn't mean that, you know, that's what makes you calm. Or you'll be a melancholy. I've seen melancholies. You know who melancholies are? Phlegmatics. People that will not say a word to even somebody they have known for 10 years. Eh? I've seen them. I've seen worry. But they are quiet naturally. But their heads is doing boom, boom, boom. They're running all over the place. Now, if you notice, the person who is hot-tempered, somebody who is like, who can burst at any time, what happens to such a person? Tell me. Huh? The person can easily get what? When the person gets offended, what does the person do to the system?
He reacts to it.
He reacts to the system. And when he reacts to the system, what happens? There's chaos. There's crisis everywhere. That is why a lot of people, in these days, before they appoint you the CBN governor, these days in Nigeria, they try and make sure that you have a calm spirit. In other countries of the world, you can hardly hear the CBN governor, true or false? You can hardly hear his voice. If you want to hear his voice, it's in policies. They are like they don't exist. But they are the guys who, if they press a button, things happen. So we must understand that the calmness of a leader is critical. These are areas of leadership that we don't talk about, true or false? We don't talk about these sections of leadership development. We don't talk about it, but they are critical to advancement in leadership development. The next one that is the leader's what? Speech. Is what? Do you want to find someone who is a leader? One of the ways, if you don't know a man at all, and you're meeting a man for the first time, all right, in your entire life, how do you get to know him? How do you get to know him? Do you know that the ear tastes word like the mouth tastes meat? Are you aware? That the way your mouth tastes meat, you know, you eat meat and it is sweet. That's the way the ear tastes words. So, when a man opens his mouth, two things happen. Either the man makes you sink further by the words of the mouth, because there are words of the mouth that somebody will speak to you right now. If you were supposed to be dressed up, looking cool, looking well dressed, and you tell yourself, I am looking really nice, somebody just meets you at the door and tells you, what's a dress that you're wearing? What kind of dress is this? This dress is 1960 dress. The person who was excited, what happens to that person? The person goes what? Or somebody tells you, you are a staff in the office, and somebody wakes up in the morning, first thing in the morning, sees you in the morning, and says, what you have just done this morning is nonsense. All this work you have been doing all night, you submitted it, is nonsense. Nonsense. Do you have brain at all? You don't see this happen in organizations? Say, do you have brains at all? People like you shouldn't work here. And he tells you that for 1 month. My friend, if your self-confidence was as high as the sky when you joined that organization, by the time you're leaving there, you'll be walking like this. Because your shoulders will drop. You wonder whether you're sure of yourself again. There was a particular Indian film. I'm a master of Indian films. I love Indian films. There was one I watched yesterday, and I saw a 9-year-old boy who as a result of an internal crisis he was facing in his mind. The young man was always making mistakes. Always what? So from the parents, from his house, they sent him to school, to boarding house, that he was the most stubborn person they've ever seen. The guy went to the boarding house. From his first day of boarding house, every other teacher, nobody understood the man's challenge, the young boy's challenge. Everybody says, you are a dullard, you are a this, and the boy got to a point in time, the boy got indifferent. Do you know what to call indifferent? If you step in that place called indifference, what it means is that you're nonchalant, you don't care about anything anymore. That's a dangerous state to be in. But guess what? One leader emerged from somewhere. A teacher that is an art teacher. Meanwhile, this guy can paint. This young boy can paint. And the leader came into that class and noticed what was going on and began to use the power of words to bring back this boy back to life. The boy was dead. His mind was dead. Everything about him was dead. But this guy began to speak words to him, to tell him how great he is, to tell him how, respected, began to, equate this guy with great guys who have accomplished great things in the world. Oh my God. This guy got to a point where, his confidence was restored. And they had a competition in school for the people who are going to paint, including the principal. Everybody came out to paint. Thousands of students to paint. This guy, young man, painted. Brought out I've never seen that kind of painting before, said myself. And at the end of the day, he won that competition in school. And everything changed. His life returned. Everything about him. Words. 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 When a leader speaks his words, it sees sand with salt. The leader uses beautiful words as the right words is always what? Coming out. The leader's mouth all the time, something right is coming out after that mouth. That's leadership. Do you know that in Liberia, there's what we call national orator? In Liberia. I went to Liberia and I was looking at all the boards. I saw a gentleman. He was wearing suits and they wrote national orator. So I began to ask, who is a young man, national orator? You know what his job is? His job as appointed by the president of his country is to go all over the country to inspire young people with words. What are you talking about? That is his job. Every month they pay him heavy salaries. His job is to go all over the country, wherever young people are gathered, inspire them with words. With words. Give them hope. Because leaders are dealers in hope. When there's uncertainty, leaders come into a situation, what comes out of their mouth, hope, is unleashed on the system. In times like this in our national life, what would make this country work is that you have a group of people who are driven by big vision with words, empowering people in their minds. Because you need to first of all be empowered in your mind before you can even start any idea. Without that, you can't. Let me tell you, some people who have been attending leadership forum here on a daily basis, there are some of them who have been finished from a long time ago. I hope you know that. They have been finished in their mind. What am I going to do? But somehow, gradually, their confidence has been restored. Is that not true? A young man one day was watching leadership clinic. What did he do? My phone just rang. And the young man said, "Excuse me, sir, my name is so. You have just saved my life." I said, "How?" He said, "I made up my mind to commit suicide this morning." So I'm tired of this country, and I said to myself, I should die, I shouldn't live. So, but before as I was going to go and kill myself, I saw on television, AIT, you emerged and you were talking about dreams. I said, let me just listen to it. And I began to listen. And his sense of hope came alive. He said his belief for this country came alive. And he said, no, I'm not going to die again. I will make a difference in this country. The power of words. Leaders are dealers in hope, my friends. What do you have in your mouth? Is it bomb or life? Eh? What do you have in your mouth? Bomb or life? Because you can speak words on somebody's life and it will be like a bomb. Bomb. The person will explode. Literally. With words. But you can speak words and somebody will be lifted from a sense of irresponsibility. Leaders who maintain their composure will never show any signs of what? Doubt. They never do that. Not at all. They speak with what? Conviction, confidence, and what? Authority. They are different things. If you see somebody, that's why most of the times, the way some leaders speak on television, you fall asleep. How many of you have noticed that? You see a man who says he's the governor of a state, and he's speaking to the people. I don't know what the economy we are broke this year. Money is finished. We are scratching to survive, to live. If we appointed you or elected you a governor, and the man that we chose amongst all of the people, his language is like that, that state is finished. Do you get what I'm saying? Meanwhile, the leader comes, even when there's no solution in view. What does he come? He comes to the public and say, great people of this state, it will interest you to know that things are in place. We are working on modalities that will impact on our system in a very positive way. And then he goes back. He goes back. He goes back. He works at it. He works at it. I tell you a story. The very strong man called Theodore Roosevelt. I don't know if you know about Franklin Roosevelt. How many of you know Franklin Roosevelt? The guy on a wheelchair. He existed in a time in America when there was depression. You know what is called depression? Heavy depression. The economy was in recession. So all over America, there was great depression. People were dying on a daily basis. And you know what people did? People went to the banks and collected all their monies because they didn't know whether the economy was safe or not, and put their monies in their houses. This was a president on a wheelchair. What did the president do? First of all, under 3 days, they initiated a law. He worked with the National Assembly, the Congress of America. For the first time in 3 days, they defined a solution, enacted a law to support it. The next day, this guy went on radio. Went on radio and began to talk to the American people. He began to speak confidence to them, hope to them, life to them, and began to tell them the solution, what has been done. And one after the other, people went back, took their monies from bedroom to the bank. The president has spoken to the bank. And the next day, the economy came back to life. Words. So if we cannot find, if you speak, imagine you want a job. Somebody says, I want a job. Is anybody wants a job here? Say, I want a job. You're looking for a job, You go into the company. The security man is there. Excuse me. They said, there's a job here. The security man said, my friend, stand like, those guys, they know. They said, this guy has no liver. He said, stand. They know how to do it. The security man will say, go and stand outside. Did you hear me? This is a graduate. A graduate, full-blown graduate. Says, meanwhile, he goes to the interview ground. Finally, they've succeeded in bringing him to the interview ground. He's facing about 4 people in the interview. They say, what is your name? What is your name, sir? My name, my names are, okay, what job are you applying for in this company? He said, any job at all. Any job at all. Once you give it to me, I take it, I'll do it well. Any job at all. Hey. I say, hey. They say, no. Somebody walks in assertively. Good afternoon, sir. Even to the gate man. Good afternoon, sir. I have an appointment here today with Say, Oga, all correct, sir. All correct, sir. All correct, sir. You walk in. So you are in there. Say they want to give you. Say, no. I definitely applied to work for this company as an accountant. They say, what about any other position? No, I'm here for, this is what I'm here for. I believe that I would make a huge difference in this company. And his mouth begins to run. Then you can see a conviction power. You can see a sense of what? Confidence. And then you can see a sense of what? Authority. And then the partners say, wow, this guy is hot. It's hot. So they sit apart. They say, who? They say, but this guy, his CV is first class. This other one, his CV is first class. Well, no, we're not going to employ, because if it were about CV, if it's about, the guy has a first class CV, but guess what? All his days in the university, he was reading. He was what? Reading. He had no capacity to deal with situations. He has not been trained to deal with situations. Now, you look at me, who was a senior prefect of a school, government secondary school or wherever, and I made 4 A's and 5 C's in my WAEC, right? Right? Now, I can't remember how many times I entered class. Because as an SP of a school, people thought it was a small position. For me, it wasn't a small position. I was building my future with it. So I had my big, very big signboard here. School captain. Do you understand what I'm saying? So when classes are going on, you see me walking all over the place. And I'm like, I come to junior classes, and I ask those two, I hope you're doing well here. No seniors come to molest you. They say, yes, senior. Then I move around. And then I go to class, small class. What is the lecturer talking about? I listen. Okay. To where again? Where will I go to? My legs are scratching. Where do I go to? It's principal's office. I go there, sir. Everything is in charge. Everything is in control. The principal says, you're a good boy. Now, I was playing the politics of the domain. I was learning how to administer. I was learning how to network. I was learning how to build my capacity. During old boys reunion, we just turned 80 years old about a few days ago. Huh? Now, Sam, that military man you're seeing there, behind there, please stand, let them see you so you know what I'm talking about. That man you're seeing there, it was through the process that I saw this man. And the man immediately connected me to his house. Are you hearing me? And every afternoon, after school, I'll go and eat free lunch. Networking. He was a student, a rich student for that matter. And they were living in government house. You understand what I'm saying? Through the contact, I was going there to eat what? And the food was very sweet. What are you talking about? Connection. Speak with conviction. So you give people hope. And then everything is under what? Control. As a result of words. The power of words. Yeah? That's why there are men who don't have money in this country and they have very beautiful homes. True of us. True. They have wives. They don't have a lot of money, but they have some good words in their mouths. A lot of other men, if you don't have money in your pockets, at least have good words in your mouth. That's the secret. It's not to vex. To say you don't have money in your pocket and you have to eat food. The woman asking for food money, you're telling her, are you stupid? Who married you? Went and married her. Provide money for food. Rather, if you don't have it, why? Word of the mouth. Let me teach you how to do it. Say everything is going to be fine. You know, I always loved you. She smiles. Now she's already thinking, how can I make it work? That's the point. So by the time you know what is happening, you can use good words to maintain a relationship. You use good words to inspire friends, to inspire your mentees. Not words. The next one. The leader's what? Love for good what? We're in a generation right now that a lot of people, I don't think that they have a hunger for good advice anymore. How many leaders do you think are ready to listen to good advice right now? Don't you know that most of the people that you see, including yourself, your ears love to do what? Hear what? Your ear loves to do what? Loves praises. Praises. So anybody who is not praising you is what? Your enemy. That's a wrong concept. The fact that you are in two political parties that are opposition parties does not mean, do you get what I'm saying? That you cannot operate without fighting. Good advice. So leaders love good advice and take what? Good counsel. They establish what? Accountability what? Partners. You know what they call accountability partners? People that, for instance, you say I'm going to achieve this in the next 1 month. You need somebody who's a good accountability partner that will stand by you to say, my friend, you forgot that you said this thing last week? You gotta make it happen. Isn't it? But why are you going to the beer parlor instead? Is that where they're achieving the goals? Your friend will tell you that. You have a family. Why do you have to go to the beer parlor every day to go and drink? Is that where achievement of goals are? The beer parlors are meant for gossips. You don't know? Beer parlors are meant for gossips. They're not meant for any serious thinking. As the drinks are flowing, so are the mouths are what? Freely opening. Conversations that you cannot be accountable, you can't account for it, are flowing easily. It's in beer parlor. That's where it's in beer parlor that you hear all kinds of rumors. Or is it newspaper stand? Have you ever been to the newspaper stand before? Have you been there before? Thank God. Because around newspapers, so I love to do that before. I just go and stand around newspaper joint and I hear opinions. And you see experts. The guy who is pushing barrow, he comes and drops his barrow and gives his own expertise knowledge. The guy who is selling Accra. So, God. Everybody is giving advice. So you're asking, if you can give good advice, where are thou? So, that's why you need mentors, advisors, peer reviews. You know, that's what we call peer review mechanism. Peer review mechanism. What's peer review mechanism? Peer review mechanism means that you can definitely, among your peers, establish a system where each person will be challenging each person's growth process. You know what I mean? You said you are growing, right? What are the indicators of the fact that you're growing? You sit down, you review it. Where were you last year? Where are you now? That's peer review mechanism. If where you were last year is where you are right now, your friend will tell you, man, you're not growing, no. It's just like people having spiritual partners those days in university. How many of you remember? Prayer partners. How many of you remember prayer partners? There were people, 4 a.m. in the morning, they're already holding their hands like this. They are shaking their head. They are praying. It's the two of us, we must what? Succeed. It's called peer review mechanism. So it's very, very, very key. We must understand how that works, all right? Leaders must love good advice. The ear of the leader must ring with the voice of his people. It is in consultations that advice comes. Never start a project without consulting. Build a consultation team at every point in time you want to start a project. You want to move to the next level of your life, you have to set up a consortium of sorts. Because in the multitude of what? Counsel, there's what? There's safety. The leader who does not take advice will become like the king, who he doesn't listen to advice. Everything they tell him, he says he knows it all. And one day he was literally naked. He wore his agbada, and on the backside, he didn't know that it didn't roll to the ground. So his backside was empty. And he was going to go and greet his subjects. And then all his close associates, nobody told him, sir, you're naked though. Because the man says, I know it. You know, when leaders begin to think like, I know it all, It's a very dangerous state, you know. Huh? I too know. I know everything. So the king went like this, was greeting the people. People were shouting and shouting, and he thought they were greeting him and praising him. He was doing like that. But he was literally naked. And that's how a lot of leaders are dancing in the marketplace naked today in this country. I'm telling you. It's a key. Good advice. Good advice. People buy good advice with money. People buy, in fact, that's why people have consulting services. What I am teaching you right now, do you know that? Do you know that one woman called me from America, from London, a few days ago, and she said, I listen to you every morning on AIT, and the next thing she said to me is, she wanted to ask me about something, and I explained to her, about 30 minutes, explained that to her, about an hour or so. I know what she said to me at the end of the day, that how much was I going to charge, how much was I going to, well, will she pay me for this? I said, no, sorry, I'm not charging her. I said, really? She said, you have solved my problem in less than an hour. He said, all the people I go to ask about this, they say I should first of all deposit some money first before they open their mouths. Before they open their what? Yeah. So if I were probably in the UK now, in the US, you can't come to, what's his name? Tony Robbins. You come to you say you want to come and listen, you were passing, you just want to listen for free. They will first of all hijack you at the gate. They say, is it not leadership knowledge? In our country, we listen for it for free. For free. They will first of all hijack you from the gate. Hijack you. Because I am calling, if I call Tony Robbins' office right now, and I'm like, I just want to find out where your training is taking place in America for this year. Or the next thing is, are the different categories of pricing. Where do you want to go to? What's your range of a figure? They are already asking me range. And there are ranges of $50,000. Ranges. Words of the mouth, isn't it? That's what people are getting for free. Just what I'm saying. It's advice. You're getting for free. But it's a lot of money to get good advice. I'm telling you. That's why people must appreciate it. You must appreciate it. Absolutely. And that's why we said, for the next level of the class that will begin at the Leadership Center, said that one is already coded. That one, if you don't have your money, don't come near. Don't come what? Yeah. That's the standard. That one is coded. If you don't have your money, no, you just say, don't come and greet anybody. Because around that environment is coded. Yeah? The security will ask you, do you have your card? Yes. Your entry card. You say no. We shall see you later. Let's go. Now, the leader's inability to what? To exploit. Do you know, as I'm talking to you right now, that a lot of people think that they can exploit everything, right? So, as a leader, your behavior should be different. A lot of people exploit relationships, you know that? Everything for them is exploit. They exploit friendship. They exploit opportunities in a negative way. They exploit everything exploitable. I ask a question. Is that a model for leadership? Huh? Is that a model for leadership? Well, one of the greatest models of leadership I've found is that the leader must have respect for friendship. The leader must also have respect for what I call loyalty. You know what loyalty is? Loyalty is loyalty. When people give you their respect, you must also reciprocate. Because respect is what? Reciprocal. Very key. You must not exploit people because you have the opportunity to do so. I can tell you that one of the greatest things I've seen happen in the public domain in our country really is that a lot of the people who find themselves in public positions, they lack people that they can trust, true of us. So what you have, I was with a commissioner in one of these states one day, and a particular aide of the commissioner came into the house to see the commissioner. He normally brings the fowl, that was the pattern, to the commissioner's house in the night, usually around 10 o'clock, because the commissioner is, at that time, will be what? Tired. So the guy goes collect money from certain guys. He says, don't worry, I shall get you your land. Eh? So he comes to the commissioner with a fowl at that time, and he brings heavy fowls. Meanwhile, making sure that the other documents around it were in, they were not necessary documents. But he now puts the main document inside that big file. So, and then he now quickly puts the page where he wants the commissioner to act on, open it. So he just says, Honorable Commissioner, we've gone through this, and this is fine. This is fine. So that I was seated that day when I was watching him. So the guy did this. So right where I sat, I said, I have seen one of them in my mind. This guy is exploiting this commissioner. I said, let me see what the commissioner will do. And immediately the guy finished. The commissioner quickly cited something on the file and said, come, this, explain it. The guy couldn't explain it. So I said, you don't die today. In my mind, I was watching it. So the guy left the place. Immediately left. The commissioner said to me, this guy thinks, he does this all the time. He thinks that, you know, he's smart. That's see what he has done. Look at what he has done. You know, look at what he has done. And a lot of people do that. They don't know that. Their principals know. They might not have mentioned it. And so they think that they are succeeding. Does that make sense? You know, that's the worst aspect of stuff. You think that you are doing some stuff, but you're smart. But the person you think that you're smart with already knows what you're doing. So the guy is just waiting for the right time to do what? To strike. It's more dangerous. It's more dangerous. I'm telling you. So you don't exploit opportunities like that. You meet a friend. Friendships are not supposed to be exploited. They're supposed to be respected. In leadership, you build allies. You know what's called allies? If by now in your leadership journey you have not built people that you've not identified people that you're going to go long term with. You know what it's called long term? There's what called long term. There are people that you want to go long term with, not short term. You want to, in 10 years, let's assume that you want to be a governor. There are people you want to go with. You know that? You start because you know them right now. You've known them for a long time. So when it comes to appointments, there are people that people go and bring back. Because they know that this guy has been tested and what? And proven. Nobody wants to give a sensitive position to a person that he doesn't know. So whose ally are thou? That's my question. Who's your ally? Yeah? Whose ally are you? That's the point I'm asking. Because we will never remain at this state in life. You know that? The change that you're going to bring to the system is the learning system you're building around you right now. So the person that is going to bring you as an ally will benefit from you because you are full of knowledge. That's the point. Let's go. The leader's love for what? The leader's love for what? Truth. The leader's love for truth. A leader is an epitome of what? Of truth. Truthfulness. Honesty in leadership is essential to a leader's legitimacy, credibility, and ability to develop trust with what? With followership. Now, do you know that what the concept of legitimacy, it is, do you know that there are people who are in leadership positions, who have leadership positions today right now, but people don't regard them? True of us. They have positions of leadership, or they are influential, they have money, but people don't regard them. They don't. Why? They don't trust them. And trust is a glue in relationships between the followers and what? And the leaders. So when you find a man who is after truth, that is the behavior of leadership that is standard. Truth. Because if you put, you know, truth is like oil. You know oil. Put it in water. Eh? What happens to it? It cannot go underground. It stands out. That's what truth is like. So if you're a lover of truth, what happens to you is that you are always known for a sense of truth. That's the point. So what do you stand for as a leader? Do you stand for anything? Anything truths? Or you just stand for anything? A lie can just disappear. Huh? A lie. If you're a man who tells lies all the time, what happens to you? You can disappear. Eh? It's a crook. It's a crook. They mention your name. Imagine if they mention your name in a nomination meeting. You know what is called a nomination meeting? They just nominated 4 people to make them head of departments or one important position. And then you say, okay, let's review them. What do you know about this guy? Oh, this guy, no, don't put him near money. Say this guy will sell you. No. Imagine if your reputation, a man's reputation goes before him, true of us. Imagine if that's a reputation that goes before, they say that man, he lies too much. You're finished. Or you say, I want to marry that lady. 4 people nominate. Let's discuss it. Say, Kai, there's no truth in her mouth. You take risks. So the leader's love for truth is a behavior that is critical for anybody to advance. It's amazing. It's amazing truth. Yeah, let's go. A leader's love for what? Justice. For justice. Is there anybody who can fight for someone who is not your relative because the person is wrong? You feel this person has been done. They have just, it's not right. It's not right. Why should they treat this person like this? This guy didn't do anything and yet they arrested him. How many of you feel like that before? You've taken a fight that is not your own and it's your own. Eh? Remember the guy that cheated us in school? I saved my money. I went to buy mattress. You know what it's called, mattress? This guy used his mouth and told me that this mattress is first class. That when I sleep on it, it's 2-year guarantee. And I went and slept. It wasn't more than 2 days. The mattress has gone what? Flat. My parents are not in the country. I felt cheated. And I went to the man that sold the mattress as a student. Sir, it's not good, oh. That this thing that you have done to me right now is not good. Give me back my money. The man said, go to anywhere. He said, I should go to anywhere? Good. I went and reported to my friend. Apparently, his father was a deputy commandant, was a commandant, 34th Atlantic Brigade commander, Obize. Army man. He said, the man said, come, let us go and get my father's people. A sense of justice for me. I'll fight for you. I said, let's go. So I came. The next thing, we had brought soldiers. Kai! Many soldiers. As they landed in front of the man's shop like this, he wanted to take off. They said, no, don't move. Yeah? Say, double the money. Double the money. The man said, no problem. No problem. So I told him to come and take his money. Yeah? You understand what I'm saying? So you can see what friendship does. I mean, the guy did it for me. I got back my money. It was a sense of justice. He said, no. They can't cheat you like that. This man, go and get his money. I remember those days. I'm telling you. I got my money back. A sense of justice. That's why I vowed in my life, really, that anybody that I see that is going through injustice, I'll fight for the person. I've always used my contacts, my relationships, everything, and I fight for people who need to be fought for. Because I know that if we actually have leadership capital in this country, we will fight for the poor. The poor people in this country are suffering a lot. A lot of the times I see them, see on some certain junction, go to Lagos, and on the bus stops, sit down and look at the face of the people. Life is gone. Life is gone. All what they want is somebody to fight for them. It doesn't mean go and take knife and start fighting. It means that when the day you give you opportunity to lead somebody, what do? Lead effectively for the sake of the common good. That's the point. Let's go. The leader's capacity to take life what? Seriously. Ability to take life seriously is one of the leader's greatest gifts. Life is serious. Therefore, what do you do with life that is serious? Some people treat life as though life is unserious. Huh? Where they will be serious, they will be so unserious. They wake up in the morning, from morning till night, there is nothing significant they have accomplished. They lazy about, involve themselves in conversations that have no sense, no meaning. How can people be on the phone for 2 hours talking about what? Back and forth conversation, meaningless, nothing, vanity. Life is seriousness. You want to succeed in this life? You got to be serious. You got to be serious with everything. Somebody says, I know you. Can I meet with you at 3 o'clock? Sir, I'll be there at 3 o'clock. Seriousness means by 3 o'clock, you are there. That means you're taking life seriously. Huh? Somebody gives you an assignment to do. You say, I will do this assignment. And you go and stay sleepless nights and get the assignment done. That's seriousness. The next time the person sees you, he will take you what? Seriously. We treat life. Look, a lot of people don't have money. And yet, they still behave as if there is so much time in this life. Eh? Life asks a question. I said, why do people love me so much? Why do people love me so much? Was asking that. Why do people like me so much? And Dad responded, well, you're beautiful for a while. But my own, I come in pain. When I come in pain, people don't like pain. That's it. So they hate me and they love you. So people say, let's enjoy life while it lasts. Wrong concept. Wrong concept. What you do with life while it lasts is to be serious with life and give life meaning. In the process of giving people sense of meaning, you live a serious life. Is that not what it is? It means every day of your life will count because you're bringing value to the world. Without your sense of bringing value to the world, you're living empty. That's the truth. So you're the most unserious person you can. That's why if we say comedy now, you know comedy. Julius Agbo is in Transcorp Hilton tonight. VVIP, 50,000. VIP, this. Get a few tables. I see so much crowd. Is that not true? So much crowd. They go and those who don't have money will go and borrow money. They will sell shoes. Everybody. There is nothing wrong with laughing. But they will spend the whole night laughing. They have spent money out of their pocket laughing. But after laughing, they get out of that place. What is it? What is it? At the end of the day, you can't really, but life has been lived. 12 o'clock in the night, people are in clubs. What are those their sounds again? Eh? Eh? You see them, I see they're going to break the wall. Eh? So early morning after that, they come back to their bed. The whole day, sleep. The night again, the same people are back again. So life, day out, day in, day out. And then they go to church on a Sunday morning and they expect a miracle. Eh? So when the pastor decrees, it is well with you. I catch it. So you ask people, seriously, you ask people, nothing, I'm not saying all of those things are wrong. That's not what I'm saying. But their moderation, is that not it? There's time for everything.
Yes.
You balance your life. But when it has to be serious, it has to be serious. It has to be serious. So if somebody says in the next 6 months, you have an opportunity to train yourself, to develop your mind, all you need to do is to go and raise 50,000 and buy a form. And in the next 6 months, you graduate and add value to your life. Is that not serious business? You look for where to sell shoes. Take some of your shoes and sell. And go and attend it. If you'd like to write proposals, raise the money, attend the course. And after it, you'll be different. That's seriousness. That's the kind of thing I will do with myself. On the 9th of May, I'm graduating in a university in America already. First Nigerian with organizational leadership as a course. They don't study anywhere in this country. I'm going to graduate there. I've known how much dollars amount I've spent. I've known sleepless nights. After all this hard day's job, I still go back home and I'm studying. I say, my wife come and meet me. I say, come and help me. Say, you chose it. But no pain, no gain. Okay. Then when Linus Okorie is shining, the next thing is that, he's chopping government money. He's doing what? He's chopping government money. Say, is he still a leadership coach? Stay there. Stay there. Because when you bring value to yourself, what happens? People are attracted to you. And every person who matters in the country wants to identify with value. The day your value declines, what happens? People start shifting. Even me at my level, I notice people with value. If you don't have value too much like that, you come to see me 3 times, 4 times. After a while, I get bothered. I should be worried for you. Because you should be doing something with your life. I'm telling you, let's run. The leader's ability to do what? Motivate. To motivate. A leader's heart is filled with inspiration. True or false? A leader is a motivator. Any leader who cannot motivate is not a leader. Any leader who cannot motivate you is not a leader. Because you want to accomplish something. Is that not true? You want to become, isn't it? If somebody cannot motivate you to become, the person is not a leader. So you need people in your life that will motivate you, because life will always bring challenges to you. There are so many challenges in this life. As I'm talking to you right now, some people have not paid their house rent. True or false? You need a motivator. You need a motivator. I'm serious. Because you have to pay your house rent. But you need somebody to motivate you. To say, don't worry, it shall come to pass. These two shall what? Shall pass. You need somebody to tell you that. You understand what I'm saying? Without motivation, you can just go like that. The troubles of life are too much. You need somebody to inspire you. That's why I tell people a lot of times, yesterday night, what I did was that I was on my knees asking God to motivate me. Asking God to do what? I was on my knees. That I could not do it alone. I needed His strength to become all that I could be. I needed His grace to be anything. I was on my knees asking Him for help. And by the time I was done with a time with Him, I woke up early morning, back to the floor. I got back out. I was motivated. Father. So I cannot come out of that place and I'm not unable to motivate people. It's not true. So it's very, very key. Yeah? The next one. A leader's sense of what? Remember there was a time I talked about a sense of knowledge, right? I said leadership flows to the one who knows. Isn't it? But can I ask a question? All of the people with PhD in this country who are in governance, why is it that our country has not improved? If only knowledge could do it. Just the fact that you know could do it. Why? What?
They lack wisdom.
They lack wisdom. Look, there's tacit wisdom, you know, right? There's experiential wisdom, all of that. But the most important sense of wisdom I'm talking about right now is the practical wisdom. You know what? When you have practical wisdom, what it does is that it takes knowledge, right, and moves it further. You begin to take decisions on the basis of the rightness of what you want to accomplish. Whether this is right or whether this is what? Wrong. So you take a decision that is based on the rightness of the issue. And that decision is provoked by the fact that you can read the situation. So a decision you take on one situation might not be the decision for what? For the next. That's why you need wisdom. Is there anybody in this hall today who agrees with me that this country can be changed? Yes. Is there anybody in this hall who agrees with me that you are part of the change process? Yes. Is there anybody in this hall today who agrees with me that whatever it will take for me to become a change agent, I'm going to get involved with it? Is there anybody?
GOTNI, building outstanding leaders.